Hi guys, my god, Nick Ferrari is useless. So it seems that when he speaks to a colour he agrees with, he provides zero pushback on whatever tripe they're spewing, because either he's a rubbish journalist and lazy, or he's happy to provide them with a platform. A man called the show with his solution to stopping the boats. What do you think it involves? Well, punishing French fishermen. Yeah, so the plan is to make it difficult for French fishermen to operate in British waters, who will then complain to the French government, who will then in turn stop the boats. Have a listen to this.
Why don't we say to the French, unless they get their house in order by stopping this, we're going to revoke all the fishing licences, permits for the French people, because then they will put the pressure on the French government.
I don't know we want a fish war, do we?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so if these are international permits, these are recognised on both sides, they're internationally recognised, what would be the justification in revoking them? Like, I don't see how this would work, but even if it were a plan, so you remove people's rights to fish, okay, and then what if they go to court and say, well, the British government has removed my permit? Was the justification for that? I haven't broken the rules. I have followed the limits of this permit. I'm operating within the law, but the British government has decided to revoke it. You take that, you take the British government to court. What would be the consequences there? Who would win?
Well, the thing is, we've already got this, so what do you do? Because at the end of the day, what's to say that those people are not also coming on fishing boats?
Then you think they're coming on fishing boats, did you say so?
Well, I said, what's to say they couldn't? And I...
What are you talking about? Fishing boats? What? Okay, think about it for a moment. The people traffickers are sending people across the channel in rubber dinghies, in makeshift crafts. And they're staying in Europe, the people traffickers. They're not crossing the channel with them to make sure that they arrive safely. If a fisherman, an English fisherman or British fisherman, picked up asylum seekers, now maybe they'll be pushed to do this because of Brexit. It's like, it's a lot of fishermen are struggling at the moment, and they may say, well, I need to survive post-Brexit. Maybe people smuggling is the way to go. Although the big difference here, of course, is that if they arrive at a UK port, they would be arrested for people smuggling. Does this guy not understand the difference here? The British fishermen are not that stupid. They're not going to start smuggling people across the channel. Because as soon as they arrive somewhere and the police pick up the asylum seekers, or if the police see a boat arriving with asylum seekers, the fishermen would be arrested.
I'm just saying, to protect our waters, we need to... If we're paying the French millions of pounds and not doing it, then sometimes you have to take another tactic and go stronger in order to get them to do something. And also, I would also say that surely if, like that incident, and we know they're pushing the boats into our waters...
Yes, they are.
See, this is the problem with Nick Ferrari. Yes, they are. Now, I don't know the full ins and outs of this story, but allegedly, a British ship arrived after a French ship had begun picking up asylum seekers, and it didn't pick up any asylum seekers, and the British vessel picked them up and took them to Britain. Now, it's possible that the asylum seekers on the dinghy or whatever vessel it was refused to board the French vessel. Once again, I don't know what happened here, and I've been trying to find some more details, and it's very sketchy, but it's possible that they refused to get on board the French vessel and said, we're not getting on board. You're going to take us back to France. We're not going to get on board. And I presume they can refuse to get on board. They can refuse to be rescued. And they said, we're only going to go with the British vessel. So if there was a British ship in the area, no doubt the French communicated this to the British, and the British arrived and picked them up. Because, if the French said, okay, well, there's nothing we can do here, they don't want to get on board, what do you do then? You let them go. Or you call the British and say, look, we have these people in this dinghy or whatever, and they don't want to board our ship. Can you come and pick them up? Otherwise, they're going to die, or there's a risk that they will die.
So basically, the French are becoming people traffickers because they're assisting.
When you hear, and these are very dedicated and well-meaning people, like the gentleman with whom we spoke at the start of the show, say that there is this pull factor to the UK, that the government should be doing more, that these people are fleeing war and persecution, how do you respond?
Well, I would just say stop the benefits here and you stop the votes.
Asylum seekers don't get benefits. Asylum seekers don't get universal credit. They don't get a house. Now, what they do get is emergency accommodation, and they get a pittance of an allowance. Something like £7 or £9 a week. That's what they get. They don't get benefits in the sense that what this guy is talking about. They're not allowed to work. So if you cut off their benefits, what will happen then? Their benefits. If you cut off their allowance, what will happen then? It doesn't stop the boats. What it does is it drives people into poverty. If you remove whatever money they have, then what will they do? Well, if they want to buy stuff and they don't have the money, what will happen? They'll steal. They'll get involved in crime. Hey, what goes through people's minds? Do they just open their mouth and speak before actually thinking, okay, what are the consequences of the plan that I'm presenting?
Don't give them nothing. Don't give them anything entitled to it, so it's not like that. And they go back. And what I would also say is with that barge, once the barge is full, why don't they actually port the barge into Calais docks?
Well, yeah. Well, of course, the French wouldn't necessarily give permission for it to be. In fact, I'm sure they wouldn't give permission.
Finally, a bit of reason from Nick Ferrari. Yes, if you bring the barge to the dock in Calais, the Calais Port Authority would just say, no, you can't. Then what do? Then you have to go back to Britain. We saw this with 2 cruise ships that Suella Braverman had ordered. One went to Edinburgh and it was rejected, and another went to Liverpool and it was rejected. I don't know whether it was because of the shallow water or because of paperwork or whatever, but both were rejected. So what's to stop the French authorities saying, no, you can't park your barge here? It would have to go back, or it would have to stay in the middle of the English Channel. These are nonsensical responses to an issue that has a very simple solution. You process the claims. If you process the claims, then people will be moved into regular accommodation. But also, if it's about stopping the boats, well, there's also another very simple solution. You create safe routes. Another alternative is to process claims in France. The French government have said on a number of occasions, yes, if you want to set up a processing centre in Calais or in France, you can do that. But the British government have rejected that idea. Why? Well, I believe it's because they want to maintain this issue of immigration. Use it as a tool to convince very simple-minded people to vote for them, like this caller. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.